What's up, guys? Terrence here from Retro DNA.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
And today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to share with you some games that I play the most. They are in the realm of my favorites, but they're not titles that you necessarily would hear other people talk about a whole lot. I thought to myself, if you were to come over to my game room, what games would you likely catch me in the middle of? And that got me thinking that I play some pretty obscure titles or games that aren't quite what you would expect them to be, but yet we can all admit are just enjoyable. There might be some hidden gems in here for some of you guys, so I'm excited to share with you my list of 5 most played games in my personal game room. They do come from a number of different systems, so these are systems I know people just don't necessarily play a whole lot, so I'm pretty excited. Let's get into it right after this. First up on the list is going to be an honorable mention. I'm sharing with you 5 games, but I figured I'd throw one more in there because 5 just never quite seems like enough. One game that I play a ton of is Smash TV on the NES, and it's just an addicting game. I've always found it super addicting, but that's not actually the game that I wanted to bring up today. The one I wanted to share with you is Xenocrisis. Now, I play this game mostly on the N64, but I do also have a copy on the PS Vita for when I'm on the go, and it gets pretty equal gameplay on both consoles. I just find the levels throughout both Smash TV and Xenocrisis to be really enjoyable. Of course, this just gives a fresher graphic look and a new spin on the same type of gameplay. If you have not played Xenocrisis, I highly encourage it. You have the ability from a top-down perspective to just shoot in multiple directions. There's attackers coming from everywhere. It's very high speed, it's engaging, and truthfully, it's quite addictive. So check this game out if you haven't. Bitmap Bureau has done an excellent job on this title, and it is available for a number of systems. In fact, my favorite system is Super Nintendo, and I plan on getting yet a 3rd copy of this on the Super Nintendo just so I have it there because I love the controls there so much. Next up, guys, is a game that a lot of us are super familiar with, but the console that I play it on might shock a few people. On the Atari Jaguar, which is not a game system that you hear about a lot of people playing regularly, I play Raiden. Raiden is an incredible shoot 'em up, classic arcade shoot 'em up, a game with just endless replay value. I love the simplicity of it, yet the difficulty of it as well. It's just right in that sweet spot where it sort of scratches the itch. Not too difficult, not too easy, but endless fun. The Atari Jaguar is just one of those systems that for whatever reason really stood out to me. I never had one, was always really intrigued by it. So I wanted to find one of the best games on that system to play regularly, and I'm a huge shoot 'em up fan. So Raiden on Atari Jaguar is one of my most played games. Next up is a game on an even more obscure console, the Panasonic 3DO. Now, truth be told, I don't even know many people who play the Panasonic 3DO, and it didn't have a ton of great games, but there's 2 games I play a lot on the console. The first being Soccer Kid, I like it on the 3DO the best, and the second being this title right here, Icebreaker. Icebreaker has an incredible amount of replay value, and it's a game that I love talking about because no one really knows it, nobody plays it, and it's kind of addicting in a way. You're essentially trying to clear a map of colored pyramids. Each of those pyramids, depending on their color, have a different function. And so some of which, like the blue, you run over, you destroy them by ramming them or by running them over. Others, like the red, would kill you if you ran over it, so you have to blast it with a fireball. Then there's ones like the green that you have to actually let the yellow ones chase you, and the yellow ones will kill the green as they're going after you, so you sort of have to like run in these unique patterns. It's just really crazy. You tend to get the colors mixed up and forget what you're supposed to do, and so you end up in kind of a silly way just dying, and you're like, dang it, I know I can beat this. It seems so easy, but yet I keep making these mistakes. And that's where the challenge is. It just has this way of kind of attacking your pride a little bit and making you say, dang it, why am I making these mistakes when I know I can beat it? But lo and behold, once you get past the first couple levels, it gets very, very complicated very quickly. There's pits, There is ice, there is water, there is mountains, there's all types of obstacles that get in your way, not to mention the abundance of different colors that start to pop up on the screen, each of which again having a different function and adding to the chaos of it all. It's just a game with tons of replay value. I tell people about it, they say it looks dumb, it sounds dumb, and then when you sit down and finally get them to play it, they end up being just as addicted as I am. So Icebreaker on the Panasonic 3DO is one of my most replayed games. I give it at least probably an hour a week. I just enjoy playing the game. I will mention, if you're an emulator, they have an Icebreaker 2 that was like released but never actually produced. So you can find it through various emulation over MAME. But I'm actually on the hunt for a physical copy, like a burned copy of Icebreaker 2, because I know there's some kind of third-party ways to like get that, and I would just love to have it in my collection. So if you have any hookups or you know anyone that can get me any copy of Icebreaker 2, I would love that. Just reach out to me, let me know in the comments. Next up is hands down my favorite game. It's also on my favorite console, Super Off-Road for the Super Nintendo. Let me say, this game came out on a ton of different consoles. I prefer it on the Super Nintendo, but I do also play it quite a bit on the NES. I honestly think just about every version is worth playing. Let me say this, Off-Road was my favorite arcade game. I love the 3 steering wheels, the ability to challenge your friends right there. It was always fun. I love how hard and fast you can kind of spin the steering wheels to make your turns. The mechanics of it are just very interesting. Top-down racing game, endless fun, a little bit of strategy involved, whether you're using power-ups, your boosts, how you adjust your car, all those different things that go into it. It can be a very, very difficult game, especially depending on the level. It's precision-based. You gotta be good at it in order to succeed. And I love that. The game just has tons of replay value. I really enjoy it. If you haven't played Super Off-Road, man, you're doing yourself an injustice. And regardless of what console you're on, you're gonna get a different experience. So I recommend trying to pick it up on various consoles for that unique experience as well. The next game is one that you probably heard of. It is on a more known console, the PlayStation 2, and that game is Black.
Hammerhead 6-2, this is 2-5, we're pinned down. I have multiple casualties. Request priority medevac on my location.
Say again, your last one did not come.
Now let me tell you, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but this is the best first-person shooter on the entire console. This game freaking rocks. You can play it on easy, and it is quite challenging. I mean, you will die over and over again, find yourself spending an hour trying to get through one level, and that's on easy. But you can continue to increase the difficulty. Look, the graphics are fantastic. The gameplay and the mechanics, the controls, everything is just smooth. The only real thing that it suffers on is the story. It just isn't that interesting, and you have to watch those cutscenes. But I just find it gives me kind of, time to grab a drink or check my phone between levels or what have you. But it's a great game, tons of fun. I can play this game over and over and over again. Of all the first-person shooters I played, it literally is my favorite on PS2, and it might be my favorite of all time. But I just enjoy playing this game. If you haven't played Black, you're really missing out. Now, the next one and the last, a game that you can't get physically. It's on the Wii U, digital only, Dr. Luigi. Now, usually when people ask me what my favorite game is to play, I usually say Dr. Mario, just because, I have it on every system ever. I play, on emulators and Game Boys, and I always have them with me. It's just a quick way to kill a few minutes here and there, just play a quick level of Dr. Mario. And Dr. Luigi provides a fresh spin on it. So I find myself playing this game a ton. I love the Wii U already. I love playing it on the tablet. I love playing it on the screen. I'm actually not near as good at Dr. Luigi as I am at Dr. Mario. Don't know what it is, just slight differences in gameplay with regard to the speed and kind of the fluidity of it all, really the color combinations that it gives you. There's a little bit different of a challenge. And I've played it so much solo that I never made speed a real priority, so I'm not as good head-to-head. And that, for me, is a unique challenge in and of itself. Beyond that, they also have another game mode where you can get these L-shaped pills, and that provides a completely different experience, which I think is just tons of fun. So if you haven't played Dr. Luigi, find a way. Now, the Wii U store is closed, so you can't download it anymore. But man, if you can get a hold of a console that already has it on it, or you find an online version, give it a spin. You will not be disappointed. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found some games that you're gonna enjoy, maybe a hidden gem or two in this quick list. I wanna know what some of your favorite games are, so please comment. Let me know what games you play the most, what games you enjoy the most, what games get the most time from you. Maybe there'll be something there I haven't heard of, and you can make the experience better for me as well. That's what this whole gaming thing is about, us helping each other out as we dive deep into nostalgia and discover new things along the way. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.